Thanks to Ari over at Simply Awesome. If you can't find his channel, I don't blame you. There are like 7,000. All you have to know is that you should go to subscribe to him. Thanks for him to being a moderator on my streams and also giving me a singular cheese onto the video. Hours is a game on Roblox that you sadly probably haven't heard of. It's a pretty simple hack and slash roguelike in which you can bend and stop time to your will. This may make it sound easy, but it's balanced in such a way that it's actually one of the hardest games on Roblox. I personally find it is one of the best games you can find on the platform because look at this. There's so much effort put in towards the time stopping mechanic itself. Like, look, every single stage, of which there are 3 and also a final boss, has something going on in the background, and when you stop time, it always stops with it. On stage 1, you have these spinny things that when you hit the stop time button, stop spinning. In stage 2, you have rain, and in stage 3, you will find that there are nukes flying out of the ground and also water that's moving. All of these will stop once time is stopped, which just shows how much love and care was put into creating this. The next things on the list of things I just love about this game are the characters. There are 8 main ones, of which I only have unlocked 7, and also some extra ones on the second page that are really weird, and from what I've seen so far, most of them are just enemies that you can play as now. Every character, however, has their own unique moveset, gimmick, and also lore. The lore, however, is extremely complicated, and I honestly don't even understand it, so we're not going to be going over that. I think my favorite thing of all, however, is the boss fights, of which there are 5, 3 for each stage, and then 2 for the final boss. And their music is incredible, besides the last 2, which are meh, but they are just overall incredible soundtracks. Up first, we have Equinox, Eternal Guardian of Dusk, who I guess guards nighttime according to his job description, I don't know. What I do know, however, is that he's by far the easiest in the game, with his attacks being pretty simple, and he's kind of just a swordman, you know? His attacks usually have big windows before he actually hits them, and most of his dash attacks can be easily dodged. However, once he gets to about 70 and 30% health respectively, he'll do special moves. 70, he'll give you a special status effect that basically whenever he hits you, he heals however much damage he did to you, which is extremely good for him, not that good for you. And once he gets more around 40% health, he'll do a second move in which he goes to the center of the stage and creates a humongous black tornado. When he does this, you have to get to the corners of the map, otherwise you will start taking a ton of damage. And also around here, your status effect will wear off, so that's cool. After this, the fight is just the same as it was before, and now you're moving on to stage 2. Downcast Days, also known as stage 2, is probably my favorite of the 3. Not only is the boss fight pretty easy, but there are a few annoying characters such as Nightmare Catcher and Astral Hermit, both of which being annoying nuisances. But something I actually really love about this one is that it plays into stagger, which is basically when you hit someone or someone hits you and you get stunned for a few seconds. In this game, it's not really touched on besides this area, and I love it for that. After you defeat a few enemies, you look up and blammo, Bloxerman, builder of the realm, falls down from the sky and he's angry. His attacks contain shooting nails but he's T-posing, shooting nails but from the sky, and stabbing a nail into your gut. My favorite move, from a gameplay perspective, is stabbing a nail through your gut, because it really, again, plays into that stagger mechanic. But this fight overall is pretty rinse and repeat, and once you get down the cycles, it's extremely easy. I will, however, say that I think it's a cool mechanic, him going into the ground. However, it is super annoying when you pause time and he's half in the ground and you can't hit him at all. But overall, it's a fair game mechanic. Once you get him damaged enough, he will clone himself, and these clones will do a certain attack before sinking into the ground. They're not that bad, but it is kind of annoying when you're trying to chase after him and you hit a clone instead. The clones are not that big of a deal though, and they only usually even stick around for like 2 seconds at a time. Once you kill him, he'll give himself 200 shield, which is health, except it can't be regenerated, and jumps into the middle, and he creates a bunch of lines around the place that once you step through will shoot nails from out of the walls. This part is extremely easy because you can just walk through and damage boost. However, this is a bit of an extra icing on top for when you kill him. Overall, amazing boss fight. I'm gonna be honest, besides the boss fight, World 3 is probably my least favorite world. While it might just because I'm bad at the game and salty, because this is by far the hardest level besides Final Boss, but after this really not as level, I don't think so. But also just because like these fighters just really can't like stick around for more than half a second so I can stab them. Seriously, every single character has some sort of jumpy attack. And don't even get me started on Anti-Mother. She literally kills her own children. She turns her children into cluster grenades, shoots them around the place, and once you kill her, she just comes back to life because she eats her children. And you have to kill her like 3 times. And it's just, she's just the worst character in the entire game. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it, I hate her. But hey, know how you can be better than Anti-Mother? By hitting the subscribe button, let's go! Sorry if that got a little heated. But the rest of this world is kind of just nothing. Fiend Rider is mid, he has a jumpy attack, and Nerve Healer is probably also one of my least favorite characters, but not nearly as much as Anti-Mother. And there's really no other characters that really stand out to me, I guess besides Half Horse, which it just has an attack that you cannot dodge, which is just annoying, but he's not hard to deal with at all. But yeah, boss fight. It starts with little man running out of the water, and then big man is coming out of the water on the other side. And I'm gonna be honest, when I first saw this boss fight, I thought I was fighting big man, but now he's just a small ally that does some extra damaging hits during the boss fight. So the boss you're actually up against is Ronin Alpha, the first drifter, which I assume actually means he was the first canonic noob in Hours lore or something, I don't know. He is basically just a swordsman, which is really cool, and his gimmick, I would say, is deflection. So basically, half the time he will just be holding his sword out and deflecting move. So it's actually difficult to get any damage on him if it's your first time fighting him. However, the typical thing to do though is to either stop time or attack him while he's doing an attack, because he can't deflect and attack you at the same time. However, of course, if you do either have Holt, Star, or the other one that I forgot the name of, please use that because it is just so much more effective. However, do not stop time while he's doing a deflect, because then he will deflect all your attacks while time is stopped. Also, please note that once you get up much lower on health, the big man will summon dummies out of his arm, which is kind of disgusting when you think about it. These guys can damage you, but just focus on actual Ronin Alpha and just sort of ignore these guys because they really can't do anything to you, and you really also have to be paying more attention towards his deflecting window. With how rinse and repeat this boss fight is, you could compare it to Equinox, and I'd say it actually is more rinse and repeat than Equinox, but this is a nightmare to try to beat on your first attempt, so he really is only a good boss like 3 times, and after that he just gets a bit stale. However, his music is the best that I again can't play because of copyright reasons, but still, amazing boss fight, overall the best. And just like that, you're done. You're stuck on a still screen, but you can still move the camera. I'm just using a PNG here, though. So here, there's some Subway Surfers gameplay. But anyways, yeah, you're off to fight the final boss now. Except one small problem. There is normally an ability you get after every single stage. So tutorial to stage 1, stage 1, stage 2, stage 2 to stage 3. You all get an extra ability that is either just a buff to your current abilities or an entire move overall. However, I think, once you get to this part, there is none. However, I think there should be, but only on hours and weeks difficulty. But on minutes or seconds, or even milliseconds, or those other like impossible difficulties, they should just not. They should really not be there. And yeah, that's my thoughts. Now on to the final boss. After being blinded because someone turned on Discord light mode, you're teleported to a pretty empty looking room. And the light beneath closed eyes, and the epilogue now. It says that, but it's actually mandatory, and it's also the final boss. A pillar of light comes in, and there's a T-posing man who's sucking all the light out of the corners of the room. You have to avoid all light at all costs because you don't want to die. After a few seconds of this, he has absorbed all of the light and becomes a ball. He then throws the ball at you, and the ball creates laser beams. After avoiding these, he will then do a spinny laser beam, and you have to get to the corners, going all the way back to that one attack from Equinox. He then shoots down 2 balls, and they spiral around you, shooting up light, so don't touch those. You have to really just run in circles for this bit, and it's kind of hard to tell what's going on, but trust me, it's not as hard as it looks. Then he does Mission Impossible laser beams, and you have to get out of there extremely fast. And you really shouldn't stop time here, even though I think I did for this footage. And yeah, he then shoots down some final prisms of light and shoots down a piano, which is actually a reference to the title screen of the game. Even though it doesn't actually exist the title, it is the title screen because it's the button, it's where you press the play button. Speaking of which, you're fighting this boss fight in the title room area. So when you open up the game, there'll be a piano and you hit the play button. This is that room, and it's just crazy to me how they tied all this together. Congratulations, you've beaten the game. Or so you think. You see, that wasn't even the boss fight, that was just to soften you up. Because guess who you're fighting? That's right, you're fighting yourself. A completely white and glowing copy of you that has all of your upgrades. So you know how you between stages you're upgrading your character? Yeah, well guess what? This guy has all of those. However, you do have one trump card over there. A, hopefully, your skill, and B, you can stop time. Yeah, so your tempo is the one thing that you have over this copycat, and it is essential for beating it. So now you ask, assumingly, should I make myself super overpowered or super underpowered? Now, personally, I find it easier when I just go all out, making myself as powerful as possible. Because remember, this is not you, this is AI. And the AI is not as smart as you, hopefully. So it actually will make poor decisions by using abilities. Like most healing abilities, it will use when it's at like 70%, and then when it's at 30%, it just doesn't use them. So I would recommend making yourself much more powerful because it also helps you with your earlier levels. Now, if you've beaten the game, you unlock the character I'm currently playing as, known as Artisan. They have a pretty simple moveset, and they have a gun, which makes them amazing. However, there is one unlockable move known as Emergency Protocol, which basically, once you die, you have 5 seconds of 200 shield. So basically, and shield is just health, except it can't be regenerated. Also, while in this state, all healing received will heal twice as much. So basically, you have 5 seconds to heal yourself as much as possible, or you're just dead. I would recommend actually getting it as long as you're also using a time-stopping ability, because the effect can't take place if time is stopped. Congratulations, you have now killed yourself. You have now completed the hours. No, you haven't. I'm making things up again. Okay, so let me talk. Basically, after you kill it, the guy that was T-posing earlier, you're fighting him now. And this is by far the hardest fight in the game. Basically, if you don't have a time stop ability, you are most definitely not going to kill this guy because he is extremely fast, evasive, and also can use almost all of the attacks from beforehand. Plus, he also has a mind of his own. Now, this fight I'm not gonna go over. I'm just gonna show you a speed up recording of it, which you're actually looking at right now. But it's extremely difficult and again, almost impossible without a time stop ability. So let's show you the end of the game. After a blinding flash of light, you're in the same space as before, except it looks like you're in a cityscape of a futuristic city. You see a small walkway and decide to walk over to it. Among Us brings a longer walkway that has nothing at the end of it. Trust me, I've tried. So yeah, you step on the pink pad, and you have officially beaten Hours. Made by the people shown on screen right now, it is probably the most thoughtful and amazing Roblox games that are. It's also pretty old. For popularity, it's extremely old. And yeah, that's it. So then, now it's time to answer the question: why do I love fighting? Not only can I bore my friends at school with random facts about the game, but also it's diverse. There are 20 different tempos, along with 8 different main characters, and there are a bunch of extra ones on top of that. So just from this, there is a lot of possible abilities and combinations that you can go with. And, well, yes, it is absolute pain to unlock most of them. And I haven't even unlocked all of the hosts, aka the characters. It's just, I love it because there are so many different things you can do. And that's what I love about most Roblox games, actually. Roblox always gets dog because it's bad, but at the end of the day, it's just a platform for people to share their work on. And it has a ton of extremely talented games. Like, originally, before I named my channel ROBlOX, it used to be Fairly Phantom, because I liked fighting at the time, which I still do, I just don't play it. And I just love Hours because it shows what Roblox can be capable of. And it shows that people can hit the subscribe button. And it also shows that good game design is not impossible to find on Roblox, and that's what I love about it. It shows just everything that other Roblox games can be, while also being just an extremely fun game to play. So, that's the answer. I love ROBlOX Hours because it has diversity of 1,000 games. Welcome to the end of the video. You can subscribe here, watch either of these 2 videos, or you can stick around and hear the rest that I have to say. The game that I was actually playing, ROBlOX Hours, is just named Hours in all caps, or you can also click the link in the description. Also all music and copyright stuff will go in there. I'm currently dealing with a lot of copyright issues, so sorry if I haven't been able to stream recently. It's copyright stuff. And see you next time.